SM, the Media Project.
Hey there, I'm Scott Graves, founder of SM Graves Associates. Business Triage was designed as a response to the challenges made worse by the global health crisis. It was designed to assist small business beyond the pandemic, since most business issues facing us today were already there, simply made worse by COVID-19. SM Graves Associates is pleased to report that the Business Triage program has received state funding for immediate implementation. Along with our partners, including Valley Venture Mentors of Springfield, Massachusetts, we are looking for eligible businesses, regardless of their size and industry, and throughout the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Following a rigorous intake session, eligible businesses will receive individualized mentorship, one-on-one by experienced professionals, peer advisory through our custom advisor tribe from Image Identity Limited, and a customized project designed to maximize your business's turnaround as quickly and efficiently as possible. Potential candidates can contact us and find out more about Business Triage by going to smgravesassociates.com/business-triage. We hope to see you soon, and please take care.
Excuse me, do you mind if I join you? Are you sure you don't mind? You're absolutely sure about me to stand here?
You shall all be turned into frogs and eaten.
Nice and tender.
Stop that, you. Oh, so nice to meet you, ladies. Goodbye.
Welcome to the Mental Suppository. I'm Bret Herholz.
I'm Andrew Shanley.
And I'm Jamie Billings.
Before we begin, we have a new sponsor.
Damn it! This episode is brought to you by CheapMotels.com, a website that makes it easy for the cheap bastard on the go to find places to stay for the night.
Here's your room.
What?
Holy crap! This room is filthy! When was the last time it was cleaned?
When was Nixon in office?
I don't want to think what those stains are on the bed.
You're better off not asking.
And wait! Is that a dead guy in the bathtub?
Oh, I'm not dead.
This place is a dump. How do you expect anyone to stay in a room like this?
Well, you're paying $1.29 a night.
Oh, well. This has got television.
UHF and VHF only, sir. The UHF knob is broken. Use the pliers in the corner. You'll need to use it to flush the toilet as well.
CheapMotels.com. We let our domain name lapse, so find us on Craigslist.
And at Cheap Hotel, why don't we listen to a story?
Oh, it's hotel time.
How's that for a segue? Ready?
Sounds good to me.
Hotel stories with former manager. Okay, so here's what happened one day while I was inspecting rooms. I was coming back to the lobby after I was inspecting rooms, and I go into the lobby, and there's just a whole bunch of red dots on the floor. And I was like, what the hell is all this? And my front desk employee was like, don't step on those. It's blood. So apparently what happened was...
Was it one of those things where at first you were just like...
Yeah, I was like, what is this, rose petals or something like that? And I'm like, oh my God.
But when he said it was blood, did you kind of laugh at first and then like, you're not kidding, are you?
I looked right at him and it was like the shock of horror in his face just basically said to me,
God.
yeah, this is blood. This is happening.
Well, I mean, was it like from a common accidental nosebleed?
Not exactly. It was from a domestic where...
So a nosebleed.
Yeah. So a guy was basically locked out of his room, and he was upset with his girlfriend who locked him out. So they were on the first floor. So he proceeded to punch out the window and basically climb in the room. And he took their dog, and he's walking through the lobby and the hallways, bleeding all over the floor with his hand flooring around everything. He goes to the desk with his hand bloody and everything. You guys get some paper towels? And they're like, go in the bathroom over there. So he went in the bathroom. He got just tracking blood everywhere. And so then he just takes the dog and he leaves. And so, I basically was then had to cover that shift 3 to 11 with all this little blood dots and everything else on the floor. With like,
Holy crap!
I couldn't
mackerel.
clean it. I had to wait until like the hazmat cleaner came, and this happened like right about 3 o'clock. So I was there until at least 11, and
Oh my God.
and the hazmat cleaner finally showed up at like 10:30 to clean the mess.
Did you have to like cordon off that area?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I had residents coming in the hotel. I had people coming in the hotel to check in, and I'm like, don't step on the blood, please. Okay, give me.
That's a good selling point.
This is before COVID. This was before COVID.
I know.
And like he threw like
That's right. Wow.
Did you have to watch like the videos, but when you started working, like when you're dealing with blood or human bodily fluids, you are not allowed to touch it.
Oh yeah, we had those bloodborne pathogen training courses and everything else.
There's
like
always that one guy in the corner that's like,
we're not supposed to lick it.
No, Frank.
Frank, get out
out.
of the seminar.
Oh, okay.
There was one that my first week on the job. Here's another story for you. So these guys that got thrown out of the hotel because they weren't paying the rent, and so we had to back up all their stuff. So this is me like literally being there for like a week, and I was like, okay, well, let's go in there. I'm gloving up like CSI, I'm like hearing the theme from the Who, and I'm like, okay, let's go in there. Yeah, and I'm like, all right. So
I
get
thought it
in
was
there.
the other one. Who are you? Never mind.
And so I am.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I go in there. We're gloved up. We're starting to put all this trash away. We're throwing the trash away. We're putting all their stuff in trash bags. And we open up a drawer, and that's where all their pipes were. And I'm not talking like tobacco pipes or
Crack pipes.
yeah, it was like that.
Oh, the pipes were cracked. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, that's really
So they couldn't use them.
probably not.
Oh.
We found a couple like needle tops, and I'm like, okay, all right.
All right. Somebody's got diabetes in this room.
Yep. So I'm like,
Who's here, Mickey Rourke?
So I was like, do we, that we grab a bag and we're like, should we just look in the bag to see if there's anything in there that, just like if they have like a brick of heroin, so if we have to call the cops or something. Because these guys were real shady guys. Zip. Oh, hey, look. Jock straps and penis pumps.
Oh.
Let's just close that up. Zip.
Inside
And
the
that
jock
was
straps and penis pump, heroin.
It's not my penis pump, baby.
But you have a book. It's your bag.
It's not my bag, baby. It's not my
But you
bag.
produced the book on it.
Oh, it's not my book on. Seriously, somebody's pulling a joke. It's pulling my leg. But yeah, so that was my first introduction to the hotel industry.
Holy crap, mackerel.
Yep. And there's a lot more where that comes from, and I'll tell you guys more about that as the days progress.
For a transcript of Andrew's hotel nightmares, send.
Send
Go to
$5 to us.
San Antonio, Texas, or Pablo, whatever, in New Mexico.
Exactly.
$5 to Cool Guy.
Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, Nebraska, someplace in the middle of the country you've never heard of.
But sounds exotic.
I thought it was going to be in Pueblo, Colorado.
Mutual of Omaha's
That's
wild
where they always got
hotels.
those pamphlets back in the day. You can call us at Pueblo, Colorado.
Mutual of Omaha's wild
Can you
hotels.
imagine being the mail guy for that place? Another one of those guys wants a pamphlet.
Stupid bastard.
Wants it from us. So son of a bitch.
So, I was told that we have an interview that we could do with probably one of the world's most renowned experts on the Black Cauldron.
Yes.
Yes, we
Okay,
do.
and I think Bret has a personal relationship with this person, so we're able to get ourselves a interview with this person.
Yes, I do.
So why don't we see if we can go ahead and make a phone call?
Yeah.
Is that a pigeon?
Where? I think it is.
It's either somebody having weird sex or a pigeon.
Either way, it's hysterical.
It's either weird sex or a pigeon. One of the two.
That's good. That's gonna be the name of our new band, Weird Sex or a Pigeon.
That should be like, you know what? That should be like a game show. Da 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 da. It's welcome time for sex or a pigeon. Which is this?
I think that's actually a pigeon.
Wrong. That is Britney Spears and Kevin Federline making another baby.
Oh, I should have known that.
I heard something.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Okay, here we are.
Hey there.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing? You're on the Mental Suppository Podcast.
Lucky
Welcome.
you.
Salutations.
Okay, that's a very scary greeting.
Yeah.
Nah, you thought it was pretty good. So how you doing today?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
Not so
Fantastic.
bad. So we were under the impression that you know a lot about the Black Cauldron. Is that true?
Well, I started reading the book series when I was about 6. And so naturally, when the movie came out, I was extremely excited. But then it disappeared for most of my lifetime, and I was sad. And now it's back, so I'm happy again.
Why did it disappear?
So many reasons. So I don't even know how many people remember this movie coming out in the 80s, but yeah,
I
let's
vaguely
just say
remember
it
it.
wasn't
actually
your
remember seeing
traditional.
it. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I remember,
Oh no, it was not what people expected. Yeah.
It wasn't the traditional Disney movie. Everybody, expected Disney movies have like the musical numbers. They have, it's all happy and jolly. And then when they watch this movie, it's dark as heck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember seeing this in the theater with a friend of mine, and we were like,
Mhm.
wow, this is cool. I mean, for the 80s, and like, especially for like, I mean, at the time, obviously, we were like boys, and we were like into stuff like He-Man and demons and all that sort of stuff. I mean, that kind of fit in the narrative, and we're just like, wow, this is actually a kick-ass Disney movie.
Yeah, you have zombies and magic swords.
Exactly.
Yep.
And a decent cast too. You had John Hurt in it. You had Freddie Jones. For those who don't know who Freddie Jones is, his son Toby Jones is doing everything Marvel nowadays.
Yep.
You had John
And
Huston.
Dobby. He's Dobby too.
Yep, he's Dobby. You have John Huston playing the narrator.
Houston. Yep.
That's right.
John Houston.
It's sort of like an American Sean Connery accent.
Yeah.
But you also read the books too. You really loved the books as a kid, and the movie only scratches the surface.
Oh yeah, well, like a lot of movie adaptations, it's kind of a combination of plot lines from various books
Right.
in the series. So like the Black Cauldron wasn't even the initial book in the series, and Bret and I were talking about this morning because that's basically what they did title-wise for Game of Thrones too.
That's right, because it was A Game of Fire and Ice was the original title of the series that became Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was just the name of one of the books.
But I guess Black Cauldron had a better ring to it than the Book of Three.
I
Which is the
suppose.
initial book, yeah.
But they kind of did the same thing with like the Narnia series, because Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, I think but it didn't end up in the long run being the first book in the series. It was The Magician's Nephew was actually the precursor book. Although I don't know, I don't remember if the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was the one that C.S. Lewis wrote first. But I digress. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the one that was published first. I think Magician's Nephew ended up being a prequel before prequels.
Oh well, yeah, because a lot sort of like Temple of Doom. So.
Yeah. Oh, Temple of Doom.
So let me ask this. Obviously, you're the expert on all the books in the series of that. Would you say that the Black Cauldron would be a good intro for somebody who was interested? And do you think they would, obviously, because now everything old is new again, and this stuff is available on Disney Plus for everybody to rediscover, because that's kind of like where the new life of this movie has come from.
Exactly.
Do you think that could probably inspire more people to want to read the books, or even perhaps maybe see Disney revisit the property and continue the story in different narratives?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, with the way they ended the movie, they would probably have to do a reboot because the main antagonist, the Horn King, dies at the end. So they'd have to probably do a reboot as opposed to a continuation. But, it may pique the interest of people, as long as they go into it not expecting, singing birds and stuff like that. But they know there's a deeper storyline. And who knows, because it's all based on Welsh mythology, it's possible that, that may strike some interest in people to start looking into that mythos as well.
That's what we were talking about earlier. You'd mentioned that it was a lot of Welsh mythology was a part of writing the what was it, Lloyd Alexander who wrote the series? Or
Yep.
He adding in a lot of and I thought that was fantastic. Just the idea of using other mythologies that people may or may not be familiar with, just as the basis for that series.
But I think that's also part of the problem why people had so much trouble with it because, we as Americans, sadly, because we're so ethnocentric, we had a lot of difficult times with like the names and stuff in the series.
What is it, Lego Last, or what am I saying?
Well, yeah, and for me, having dyslexia and not being able to read those names correctly and be able to properly figure out these characters' names, after a little while of trying to read, a couple of pages, I would just become so frustrated with trying to come up with some, be like, all right, well, this guy's name, I'm just going to call him Dick. So in my mind, I would always have like alternate names for any of the characters because I could never get, Ragastath or what's his name? You know what I'm saying.
Ragagast. The
Rapper Stashed? What's his name?
His name is Rapastash, yo.
What is it?
Rapper porn stash?
He's dropping rhymes on them, yo.
Rapper porn stash?
Starring Ron Jeremy.
No.
Evil chills.
Actually, on a different note, what about doing, just doing the series properly, just actually doing it the way the books were originally intended? With something like that.
I personally would love that. But there are a lot of side stories, and there's some books where not all the main characters are in that. So while me, as a hardcore fan, would like that, I feel like the general public might not be so much into it.
Yeah, you think people are a little bit more sophisticated with the type of reboots that are coming out where it just seems everything has more glitz and glamour to it. They'd be like, well, it's not going to give proper uses. It's not going to make the story stand out when it should. You're just going to put in a crap load of CGI, and that's the end of the day. Where's my paycheck?
And I feel like,
but there goes the story.
And I feel like they're moving away from like the big movies. I've noticed even with Disney Plus in the last few years, it's been like the shorter series that are like maybe a half hour to an hour long. It's been like the mainstay. And I know Andrew was talking about that. With a lot of like a lot of seasons nowadays, it's like 6 to 12 episodes.
Yeah, I think that would probably. I mean, you see what happened with Game of Thrones, where they were like 10 episodes a season, and then the last two seasons they were like they were like 8 episodes a season. Then that last season was like 6 episodes. It was just like, wow. They just and you could tell they were in a rush to end it.
That was the problem. They were in a rush.
That's what kind of happens when you end up running out of the original storyline. It's like, well, time to make up our own, and we suck.
I never even finished the last season.
You don't bother, honestly. Just finish up around season 7, and they should end it there. There you go. 8. There you go. That's what you should do.
But a Black Cauldron television series. Something that would be sort of in the formula of like a lot of the Disney Plus series that have been out that have been like that.
Yeah, I mean the question would probably be like live action or animated. Which would you think would be better?
Sid, since you love the property, what would you say would be better for something like this?
I don't know, because with the way the production values are with live action today, and there's just so much more they can do. So. Whereas, maybe the only option for zombies coming out of a cauldron was animation back in the early 80s. Yeah. Now you can do that really well. So I think live action would be an option at this point.
So, we're not shooting stuff like Xena Warrior Princess anymore. So.
Right. Yeah. We've moved
past
that, yeah.
Or the Hercules series with Kevin Sorbo.
I watched that with my kids.
Or any of those like late afternoon live action series that came out like in the mid to late 90s. Yeah. I think they're all produced by the Raimis as well.
The
Pretty much.
Pack.
Yeah.
Jack of
all trades.
Yep.
Yes. Briscoe County Jr.
Oh my God.
But that was on prime time.
You guys must have watched this, Cleopatra 2525.
Yes. I highly recommend it. It's on Tubi. Go watch it. It's great. But yeah, so I just remember like the Black Cauldron, man. That was like one of those movies from the 80s. It's kind of like.
And sadly, it was the movie that almost killed Disney Animation too.
Yeah.
Really?
It really was.
How so?
It just was. It was like we said, it's a great movie, but. People weren't expecting it to be so dark.
But did they throw But did the Disney Studios throw so much money into this property that it was something that could have crumbled them?
I feel like it was one of those ones that they thought was going to be a big hit, and when it didn't, it almost tanked them.
Oh wow!
Well, there was a lot of experimentation with animation in that time period. I mean, we talked about Heavy Metal a couple of weeks ago. and people weren't. And like I said, when we talk about animation, and I said this before in that podcast as well, is that people had in this country, we're not like in Japan, where an anime can be an adult, and they were prepared for that. Stuff like Akira, when that came out in the United States, people saw. I mean, it was just kind of like a very niche audience. It's stuff like Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think
Project
that,
AKO.
It was always just like you and your college friends.
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
and no one else within like the whole rest of the college community except for like the small little nerd friends.
Exactly.
Just us.
And I
Just
think
us.
I think that was the kind of the charm about it. But the other thing too, obviously, is that style of animation with more adult storytelling just wasn't the norm, and I don't think audiences were really ready for that.
Actually, I think one of the Korean companies, Toei, I think did a lot of the animation for like Marvel Studios, with like Transformers, G.I. Joe, and you can tell a little bit. It has more of the feeling of the anime styling to it, depending on what company was animating what episodes. Because if you watch the old Dungeons and Dragons animation, it does have have a lot of.
Is that the Saturday morning Dungeons and Dragons
Yes.
cartoon? Oh, wow.
With Donnie Most.
Yes.
That's such a wonderful. That's actually such a wonderful throwback of a cartoon show from the 1980s.
Weren't they? They were on it. They were at an amusement park.
Yes, they were at an amusement park, and then they got
okay.
zapped.
And they got zapped into the Dungeons and Dragons world with some guy that had one horn.
Yes,
That was it. Yep.
who was voiced by Optimus Prime.
Venja.
Who was voiced by Optimus Prime.
Really?
That was Venja.
I'm the little Yoda bald guy who's going to be guiding you through Dungeons and Dragons. The Dungeon Master, folks.
Yep, and that was such a good show too.
Yeah,
That
it
left
was.
a very indelible impact. In fact, there was a car commercial that was recently done.
Yes.
That I forget what it was like. I don't know if it was like for a European car
It
company.
was a Brazilian car company. I
Brazilian
believe.
car company, and they recreated a live-action version of those characters dressed up in the costume. Yes, this exists.
Really?
Yep.
Go find
And
it on
if-
YouTubing.
Go
Yep.
YouTube it. And I'm telling you right now, it's as close to a Dungeons and Dragons live-action remake you'll ever see. But it was actually done really well. Like, wow, these guys were clearly fans of this.
As my friend Patty Crine would say, Google it, motherfuckers.
Google is your friend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Black Cauldron, man, it's such a classic story. It's so well done. And
the pig is cute.
The pig is
The
cute.
pig is cute, yeah.
But it was ahead of its time, I think.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
It was sort of it was in that era where it's like that cartoon and The Great Mouse Detective came out.
Oh,
and they
yeah.
just it's like they didn't catch on the way they did. And even The Great Mouse Detective, which had the late great Vincent Price as the villain, he was the I think what was it? His name was something like Ratican or something like that. And
Yeah.
I'm going to kill the Great Mouse Detective, and he goes freaking feral at the end of the film, and he actually becomes very scary at one point.
Yep.
You're just like, wow.
There's
this is a
there's actual death.
yeah. And what's he?
I still have no memory of us watching that together. I really don't.
It was kind of a while back. So, but it was one of these things. They also used a clip of Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce. I don't know if it was from an audio. It was from a radio show or something like that. And they actually slipped it into the background. While Basil at Baker Street's like going into his little mouse hole, and you can hear Holmes and Watson talking, and it's actually Basil Rathbone's voice. So you have that little bit of authenticity in that.
Yeah.
Come along, Watson. We're going to.
I mean, think about it. I mean, the 80s were a time in which our childhood, we saw like movies where kids were getting shot, or like potentially getting killed, And those were
Everybody
normal.
had a cigarette no matter where they were.
Yeah, like Monster Squad, for crying out loud.
I love
Oh
Monster
gosh,
Squad.
Monster Squad.
How about or wait a minute, what's the other one? Cloak and Dagger.
I remember that one.
Dabney Coleman?
Yes.
Remember that
Does
movie?
he play his dad or does he play his
No,
imaginary
he
parent?
plays the imaginary.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually was a dual role. He plays the dad.
Oh, did he play the dad
And
as
he
well?
plays the hero.
Oh, and then he played the
I'd forgotten
imaginary
about that.
guys. Okay.
Yep.
There was wasn't there actually there was a movie with Tom Hanks that came out in like the early 1980s where it's like a role playing group and he gets too sucked into it and goes crazy.
Tom Hanks? Are you talking about Mazes and Monsters?
That's it. And it was like a movie where they were trying to say,
Wasn't that
role
his
playing's
first one?
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, that was his first.
Okay,
major
There was a
motion
movie where there's
picture.
like role playing's bad. You shouldn't be role playing. It's going to suck you in and destroy your life. I think that was the thing behind the movie.
Well, yeah, because I also remember Dungeons and Dragons had a lot of parents groups
Yes.
that were opposed to
Yeah.
it. Can't teach our children magic.
It's going to make them all Satanists.
All your children
It's a board game.
magic.
Like that Harry Potter.
Oh, God.
You know, and then the same thing happened to Harry Potter.
you, Harry Potter.
Yes, Mr. Potter.
But you know, it's I think that, you know, that's one of the reasons why.
Oh, Severus, shut the fuck up.
I think that's the reason why so many 80s properties work so well, is because they didn't hold any punches back. They were pretty good. You know, even a PG movie, parental guidance meant parental guidance.
We found that out the hard way with Temple of Doom.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
know
just
what you're
recently
saying, Sid.
showed that to my daughters, and they were like,
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that whole scene with the snake surprise.
Oh, that. And I think
You're not hungry?
I think I told you guys when we did the.
Yes. Chilled
Yeah.
monkey brains.
I think I told you guys when we did the Indiana Jones episode. It wasn't even that. It was when he was ripping the heart out. It just like I lost my shit in the theater, and I think I actually ended up running out.
Oh my
No,
God.
no,
yeah.
I was fine with ripping the heart out. It's the dinner scene.
The dinner scene is disgusting.
When he sucks out the bug innards from its shell.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Jamie.
Well, isn't that like any other night
then there's the
at
horror-
like a 7-Eleven or like a Denny's or something like that?
And then there's the horror of Kate Capshaw.
Just nothing but screaming.
Yeah.
Can
Ladies
you imagine
only,
being a screenwriter? Okay, I got to write her screaming again. Wow.
ladies
Screams
only,
loudly, screams frantically, screams panicked.
ladies only
Screams
movie
hot.
because she's humping director.
Yeah.
Complains about the smell of the elephant again. This episode of the Mental Suppository is brought to you by the Tours Board of Toontown.
Hello there. Looking for a tour of Toontown? Why not hire McGoo's cab? Driven by your old pal, Quincy McGoo. Yes. Step inside, madam.
Sure.
Don't interrupt me. I was talking to the young lady.
That's a parking meter.
All right, then. Where do you wish to go?
The Waterlands Motel, please.
I know a shortcut. Yes. And I'll point her out through the landmarks on the way.
Look out!
Right over there is the alleyway where Goofy was arrested for prostitution charges. Watch out!
You almost ran over that guy.
And if you're looking to meet the stars, I recommend the restaurant over there. Yeah.
You're gonna hit the restaurant.
You might want to check out Toontown's Falling Anvil and Dynamite Museum while you're in town.
I don't think you should be driving.
Oh, I'm not driving.
What?
No, I'm driving. I'm the cab.
Look out for that train!
Oh, my goodness, I just said I falls again.
The Toontown Tours Board. You don't have to be crazy to visit here, but it sure helps.
So, what are any other special memories that you have of the Black Cauldron?
Oh gosh, I don't know, because you know the thing was, it wasn't so widely recognized, so like very few people were familiar with it. There weren't that many people I could talk to about it.
So if you found someone that knew it, you were like, I have a special connection.
Yeah, there was one other kid in my elementary school who had read the books, and it was just me and him. That was it. Yeah.
And they in the school counselor was like, "Oh my gosh, they're into that Dungeons and Dragons thing.
They're getting into Satanism and stuff.
We have to have a PTA meeting."
Yeah. But you know,
Next thing you
I
know,
also
they'll be
really
huffing
wanted
crack.
to go- I wanted to go build forts with the guys in the woods. You know, I wasn't your typical girl. I didn't want to talk about Tom Cruise and Top Gun. So,
Nobody wanted to talk about Tom Cruise. And Tom Cruise.
no, I swear, that's what all the girls in my elementary school wanted to talk
I
about.
know.
How pretty is he? Oh my gosh, he's so dreamy.
Did you see him in Risky Business?
Nobody saw him in Risky Business.
Oh my God, that Matthew Broderick, he's such a hunk.
Well, how do we sound on your end?
Really good. I'm surprised. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I was.
On now.
Yeah, I'm by the air conditioner, so I wasn't sure how well you guys would hear me.
No, here. Ooh.
Was that Jamie?
Oh, that was a little bit of sound effects.
Oh.
Jamie, put that horn down.
Sorry.
Pull up your pants.
I don't even want to know what you guys are doing right
No,
now.
you don't.
No, you don't.
No.
I can imagine.
But it's funny because I remember the Black Cauldron, but I never saw it because I was never into Disney as a kid. I always preferred Looney Tunes, but still,
Same.
once in a while, I mean, I loved the movie as a kid. I loved the movie The Sword in the Stone. I love the Aristocats.
Yep.
But, it's
So
like,
it's
It was-
Disney Plus.
I remember going to see that with my friend, and I don't know how old I was. God, when was that movie out again?
The
It's like 85.
Aristocats.
Huh?
80, Black Cauldron?
Yeah.
I was like, I think 85, 86.
Yeah,
85.
I was like maybe 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And I just remember like going, with a friend of mine, I'm like going, we're going to go see a Disney movie? Okay, well, whatever. And then like walking out of the theater going, that was pretty cool. You know? And of course, back then, we didn't have like rental.
The opposite feeling of Condor Man.
Condor Man is still an awesome movie, and it's
No, it's
40
not.
years old
No, it's
today.
not. But we will talk about it more.
Condor Man's the best.
You can't take Condor Man
You
away
can't
from me.
take Condor Man away, man. It's the best movie ever.
Although it did have Oliver Reed in it.
It
To
did.
all of our shame, we will talk about it later.
Yes. We need to talk about Condor Man.
Yeah.
It has to be talked about.
Actually, what we got to do is we got to sit down and just do a live one where we watch the movie.
We
live.
do.
Yeah.
We should do like a riff tracks riffing of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sid, would you want to join us for something like that?
Probably. I mean, there's so many out there. We still got to find otaku vampires.
Oh gosh, that movie is awful.
What is it?
Otaku vampires. Sid, please explain this movie to Jamie. because...
Otaku vampires.
Yeah. Do you know
All
what an otaku is?
No.
Like a manga anime super fan.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah.
Kids at college, and there's this vampire chick who, and I can't even, I don't
looks
even
like
know
it
if
was-
there's a plot
It looks like
line.
it looks like it was filmed on somebody's camera phone.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, so basically like most straight to Tubi movies, right?
Yeah, basically.
This made it onto Amazon.
And so Sid
Oh,
and I tried,
wow.
So Sid and I well, I think there's a point in time where it's like people could upload their movies onto Amazon.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you say, yeah, there's a reason why this movie's,
It's usually when you're going through Netflix and you're like, when you're scrolling and you just constantly keep scrolling
I
at something
can't
and you're
find
like,
anything else
and you're
to
like,
watch.
wow,
Yeah.
I've really gotten down. Okay, I'm into the foreign movies, Indian movies, action movies.
How long did we make it? Like 20 minutes?
I think about 20 minutes we made it into it. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, this just sucks so horribly.
There's one scene where there's these people talking inside a living room, and you cut to one person, there's no music. You cut to the other, there's music.
So I think they were trying to say, oh, this is a comedy. This is a funny movie. We meant to make a comedy. No, you didn't. You were trying to make a serious
like-
movie, and you sucked at it.
Sort of like Tammy and the T-Rex, where they were trying to
no.
make like a
Tammy and the
somewhat serious movie and then just went, you know what? In the middle of it, they're like, fuck it.
Tammy and the T-Rex
Roller
at
Gator.
least
Yeah,
had a
didn't you
budget.
say there's another one by the roller gator guy?
Oh yeah, there's one Baby Ghost.
Baby Ghost.
Oh, wait a minute. I saw. Yeah, you with riff tracks actually just.
Yeah.
Did it. Oh my god.
We got to watch that too.
And they-
Roller
what the guy-
Gator.
Oh gosh.
Oh, Roller
Sid won't be
Gator.
Sid won't be in the room when we watch Roller Gator.
Really? Okay.
It's that bad. And it's
Oh,
got
it's
it's got Joe
painful.
Estevez in it.
Oh my god.
Joe.
And this
Yeah.
is a movie. It looks like, remember the camera, the video camera you used to borrow from the church? That was like one of those big.
Yeah, the
Panasonic-
big ones that went on your shoulder.
Yep, and it had like the sound, the microphone on the camera.
Yep.
Oh boy.
This is what it looks like. It's filmed on. And
Oh.
it-
Didn't it also say it looked like they were sneaking around an amusement park filming
Yeah.
it without getting caught?
exactly.
Oh, there's another movie that they did that in Walt Disney World called, Escape from Tomorrowland.
Escape from Tomorrowland. Yeah.
They did that. They actually went to Walt Disney World with DSLRs, and they had their scripts on their phones, and they shot scenes in Disney World.
As
On
if they were just walking, because I mean they
Wow,
paid
that's
to get
ballsy.
in.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know.
I mean, Disney didn't even sue them or anything. They were just like, whatever.
Wow. Because if you
We own everything already.
Yeah.
Whatever.
if you deface the mouse, they'll come after you like the hammer of God.
Oh, they will.
Yeah.
They absolutely will. All right, I'm just looking through my Tubi to see if there's any bad movies.
Actually, I started watching one with Roddy Piper, Escape from Frogtown.
Yes.
Oh my
yes,
God,
Escape
yes,
from
I've seen that.
Frogtown. Yes.
I had to
Rowdy
stop.
Roddy Piper?
Yes, I had to stop watching it last night because I was like,
It's
I hadn't
bad.
even gotten
Yep.
to the I hadn't even gotten to like the mutant frogs. And I was like, I can't watch this anymore.
Okay, I'm sorry. You could have come gotten fresh guacamole with me or watched that.
I know.
Uh-oh, he's in trouble when he goes home.
Oh,
I'm-
doghouse.
Wah, wah, wah.
Someone's sleeping in the cartonate.
Someone's going to have to watch some Tail goes to Frogtown tonight with someone special.
Yeah.
It's
There's
the
nothing
ultimate
special.
date movie.
No, it's not. Actually, there was a few of those guys' movies on Tubi because apparently he did a bunch of them. It was like this whole thing of him doing like movies without scripts on like an old VHS camera. And like, yeah, there's a reason why these movies are hard to find because they suck.
So like a Nick Cage movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Nick Cage Superman.
Superman lives.
I'm Superman.
I am Superman.
I think that's great because it was originally going to be like Nick Cage as Superman, Christopher Walken as Brainiac. I think Michael Rooker was going to play Lex Luthor.
Can you do it? Oh, too bad we don't have Kevin.
I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Come on. That'd be perfect.
I'm Mary Poppins, yo.
Oh, I'm Brainiac.
I'm Brainiac.
I'm Brainiac. It's kind of wild.
Bip boom, I'm here, you know.
Superman. I'm here.
I got a
to take over the
fever.
world.
It's for Superman.
I got a Superman.
Oh my God.
Well, I think we should probably take ourselves a quick little break before we have ourselves a conversation. But
With Gary K. Wolf.
With Gary K. Wolf. But it was very good to talk with Sid, the world-renowned expert. And you can look this up on Google if you dispute it. She is the world-renowned expert of the Black Cauldron.
It's true.
I will fight anybody.
We will fight.
Bret will fight with them first, and we'll watch with popcorn.
I'll be in the back, and if they happen to one or two get through, I'll just be like,
Ow, why do you keep hitting me?
I definitely need the popcorn for that one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for talking with us,
Yes,
Sid.
thank you, Sid.
Okay. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Aren't you the handsome one?
Me?
Oh, honestly now, don't you find me irresistible?
Yes, well, of course, Mr. Shush, stop that.
You don't mind if I pluck your harp,
Well,
do you, handsome?
Enough of that lovesick nonsense.
On behalf of Jamie, Andrew, and Sid, thank you for listening to The Mental Suppository. Until next week, this is Bret Herholz saying...
I knew I'd disturb you.
The Mental Suppository has been produced by Bret Herholz and Jamie Billings and distributed by The Media Project. Theme music generously donated by Mr. B, the Gentleman Rhymer. Visit his webpage at gentlemanrhymer.com. We would love to hear from our fans. Email us at mentalsuppository@gmail.com.
Do you like what you're listening to? Do you want to see what else the Media Project has to offer? Well, then look no further than the Media Project Patreon page. There you can subscribe for as little as $5 a month to get access to all sorts of fun goodies. Things like exclusive content, early access, discounts on upcoming events, and so much more. With that subscription, you'll get access to the whole host of the Media Project shows ranging from Are We Here Yet?, Scots on the Rocks Politica, The Jazz Room hosted by Joan Watson-Jones, and our new show, The Mental Suppository. So what do you say? You want to kick in a few bucks? Head on down to the Patreon page at www.patreon.com/SMGravesAssociates.